Hi everybody, welcome to History Class. Today's video is on a more important matter. On the 14th of December, the FCC will be voting to basically get rid of net neutrality in the United States. So this means that the FCC would be scrapping an open, fair internet and in favour of something that would look more like a TV package. So pay, I don't know, $12 a month, you get the sports channels, for example. The same will be applied to certain websites. So if you wanted to look at Facebook, Twitter or Instagram, they might slap on $5 a month on top of what you're paying already. So what is net neutrality? Net neutrality is the principle that internet service providers must treat all data on the internet the same and not discriminate or charge differently by user, content, website, platform, application, type of attached equipment, or method of communication. For instance, under these principles, internet service providers are unable to intentionally block, slow down, or charge money for specific websites and online content. So if you see the picture here, this is what your packages could look like in the future if the FCC get their own way. Under an open internet scheme, the full resources of the internet and means to operate on it should easily be accessible to all individuals, companies and organizations. Applicable concepts include net neutrality, open standards, transparency, lack of internet censorship, and low barriers to entry. The concept of an open internet is sometimes expressed as an exception of decentralized technological power. Legal enforcement of the net neutrality principles take a variety of forms, from provisions that outlaw anti-competitive blocking and throttling of internet services, all the way to legal enforcement that prevents companies from subsidizing internet use on particular sites. Contrary to popular rhetoric and statements by various individuals involved in the ongoing academic debate, research suggests that a single policy instrument, such as no blocking policy or quality of servicing tiering policy, cannot achieve the range of valued political and economic objectives central to the debate. As Bauer and Obar suggest, safeguarding multiple goals requires a combination of instruments that will likely involve government and non-government measures. Furthermore, promoting goals such as freedom of speech, political participation, investment and innovation calls for complementary policies. Proponents of net neutrality regulations include consumer advocates, human rights and organizations such as Article 19. Many major internet application companies are advocates of neutrality. Yahoo, Vonage, eBay, Amazon, AC Interactive Corp, Microsoft, Twitter, Tumblr and Greenpeace, along with many other organizations and companies, have also taken the stance in support of net neutrality. Opponents of net neutrality regulations include internet service providers, broadband and telecommunication companies, computer hardware manufacturers, economists, and notable technologists. Many of the major hardware and telecommunications companies specifically oppose the reclassification of broadband as a common carrier under Title II. Corporate opponents of this measure include Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, IBM, Intel, Cisco, Nokia, Qualcomm, Broadcom, Juniper, D-Link, Wintel, Alcatel-Lucent, Corning, Panasonic, Ericsson and many others. Net neutrality supporters say this could lead to a pay-to-play internet, with large companies like Netflix, Google and Facebook paying for speedier access, while startup companies cannot afford added costs and could get left out. Chairman of the FCC recently said, "Let's not kid ourselves. When it comes to an open internet, Twitter is part of the problem. Ajit Pai has come under a lot of scrutiny of late. If you watch YouTube like I do on a regular basis, you would have seen how he reacted to these comments directed at him. Instead of being conversive with the critics of his motions, he has openly mocked people by selecting specific tweets that try to rubbish him and attack his family, which is obviously not fair because it's not his family's fault. But Ajit Pai has appeared to have no regard to anybody's opposition to his possible destruction of a free and open internet, and the implications of it is just too great. And I know that I'm speaking from the UK, but I know it's for now an American problem, but how long would it be until the UK government would be suggesting the end of a net neutrality here and then even into the EU? I am providing my support to those who campaign for a fair and open internet through net neutrality and Title II, because even here from the EU, we are going to see the effects of it if the FCC get their way. Not too long ago, the predictions came out of how the vote would come out, and it is 3-2 in favour of ending the net neutrality Title II. So that would give the likes of Verizon to have control over what you see, what you read, and even try and manipulate and what you see. Funnily enough, Ajit Pai used to work for Verizon. The United States has an amendment to their constitution which every single one of them is proud of and expresses on a daily basis. This is freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is basically what the internet is. But Ajit Pai's repealing of the net neutrality bill would go against this. Say if you wanted to look on Facebook or Twitter and share a view on, well, I use Twitter more, so I'll use Twitter as an example. Say you want to talk under a hashtag such as impeach Trump or something along the lines of that. ISPs would be able to block the impeach Trump hashtag, in turn stopping people talking about it because they won't be able to see what anybody else is saying about it. So freedom of speech is also at jeopardy along with the free internet. So I'm a gamer, like many of people on YouTube are. Everybody on the internet has probably played a game on the internet. This is going to be a big problem for gamers, because you know how much data, let's say Battlefield 1 for example, that's about 60 gigabytes. And if your data is now being capped by net neutrality, or the speeds to the EA servers, shall we say, are being throttled, it's either not going to work at all or it's just going to take forever. And then you've got to think about the amount of data used in actually playing online with other people. You might see the gaming community decrease in size because nobody can get on the internet. And despite Ajit Pai saying that low-income internet users will be supported, quite frankly I think that's bollocks. A lot of things that Ajit Pai has been saying, there's no data for it, there's no evidence, and most of what he is saying is actually on the contrary and has proven to be absolute rubbish. So I don't know where America's going now. It seems to be being led by a bunch of morons who are trying to make the population a bunch of morons and accept something that 322 million people will not accept. It is a David and Goliath battle, and Ajit Pai believes himself to be David against the whole of the American population. So what I would recommend you do is, if you haven't done so already, is to contact your Congress representative. And you can do this by going to www.battleforthenet.com, and you can leave your name, address, email, zip code, and then your letter that you think this is wrong. It goes against everything America stands for. Don't let Ajit Pai win, because if this becomes successful in America in terms of corporative success, who knows where it might spread. It might spread to where I am in the EU, of the United Kingdom, and it might spread EU-wide. It might go even further than that. The vote is expected to be on the 14th of December, so at the time of recording there's 2 days away, and the outcome doesn't look good from predictions which say a 5-2 victory to the Ajit Pai camp. So contact your Congress representative as soon as possible, and I'll see you in the next video.